Ashira Star Goddess. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to teach you a way to communicate with the dead through tarot cards. Now, this is necromancy, so if you don't practice necromancy, then, you know, this video is not for you. If you do, and you do like to communicate with deceased ancestors, spirits, or if you want to do readings for other people to help them communicate with their loved ones that have passed on, I'm going to teach you a method using tarot cards on how to do it. Now, it's very simple. I'm using these tarot cards. These are the traditional Rider-Waite tarot cards. Okay? I'm using these. I've had these cards since I was 13 years old, and I've been using them since I was 13. Okay. So, you're going to take the first 22 cards, which are the major arcana, and you're going to separate them into a separate pile. Then you're going to take all the king, queens, knights, and pages out of the deck, and you're going to separate them into one pile. Okay? Then the rest of the cards that are left, you sit in the middle. So you're going to have, I'm going to show you, you're going to have this. Okay? Now, you're going to ask the person who you're reading for, or yourself, who would you like to communicate with? And you're going to, you're going to anoint yourself with spirit communication oil. You're going to do a protective circle. You're going to ask the person that you're reading with to call this person in their mind and their hearts to communicate. And then you're going to take the deck of cards that have all the people in them, which are the page, the queens, and the kings, and the knights. And you're going to have them shuffle them, or you're going to shuffle them. And then you're going to draw the cards until you come to the person that you're trying to communicate with. For instance, if you're trying to communicate with someone who died young, like maybe a child, you're going to flip through the cards until you get to a page. A page represents a youth. So, then if you're trying to communicate with a woman, it's going to be a queen. So you would flip through the cards until you got to any queen. The first queen you get to, you take it out. If you're trying to communicate with like a father or an older gentleman, a grandfather, you're going to go until you find the king. King. Okay? And then you're going to lay that card out. And it does matter if it's upright or reversed, because it's going to tell you a lot about their personality. So you lay the card out exactly how you get it out of the pile. Okay, let's say you want to communicate with like maybe someone your own age that you lost, like a fiance or a husband or a brother or something. Then you're going to go to the knight. Okay? And this is for males. Okay, a younger person is always going to be a page. Someone near your own age is going to be a knight. A mother or a sister or an aunt is going to be a queen. I'm sorry. So, let's say you lost your father and you pull out a king reversed of pentacles. You're going to lay it just like this, reversed. And you're going to look up the meaning of reverse king of pentacles if you're new at this, or if you're going to read the card in reverse, and this is going to tell you about this person's personality. Okay, and you're going to say, yep, that's him, he was like that, yep, that sounds just like him. And then you're going to go to the next pile of cards, which are the remainder cards after you've separated. These are like all the wands and the cups. And you're going to choose 3 out of this deck. And this is going to be what the deceased person has to say to you. You can choose however many number of cards you want to draw, but I'm going to choose 3. So There's cups and wands. This, you lay them as they come out. This is going to be their message to the querent or to you, depending on if you're reading for yourself or for somebody else. Then you get to the last cards, which is the major arcana. You're going to have them shuffle them, or you're going to shuffle them. Then you're going to draw 3 cards, or however many you choose. I'm choosing 3. This will be the spiritual advice from the deceased loved one. Okay? So this will be the spiritual advice. And then that's it. If you want to convince the person that this is who you're talking about, you're going to draw as many cards as you can from the middle deck, which is the cups, the swords, and the wands. This is going to further help the person see that it's this person, because it's going to tell them things that only this person would tell them. Know things about situations that only this person knows. Okay, and you can draw a lot from the spiritual advice. If the querent is seeking spiritual guidance from their ancestor, you're going to draw a lot from here. If they just want a general reading, I would just pick a number and stick with that. How many cards you want to draw? 3, 7, whatever. And remember, working with a deceased is necromancy, and it does take a lot of energy out of you. So you need to take vitamins, you need to, have some caffeine, you need to eat before you partake in any communication with the deceased. If possible, I would suggest having offerings and like maybe some candles lit for them to draw energy from. And also, when you are finished with the reading, make sure that you thank the person for coming through and communicating, and then you send them back to where they came from, and then you do a blessing over yourself, and cleanse yourself and get that taken care of. And that is how you do a reading with tarot cards and communicate with the deceased via me. I created that method a while ago, and I've done a few readings and they were very accurate. And when I did those readings, I was super drained, and I said I'm not going to do them unless the person really, really, really needs it. And I'm not going to like advertise it as something that I do on the regular. It's just a special request only. So if you really need to communicate with someone that has passed on, I will do it for you. I do tarot readings, and I do oracle readings and pendulum readings on my Facebook, and I'm very cheap, very, very inexpensive. But for the readings with the deceased, I do charge $20. Tarot I do for 10, oracle I do for 5. I also do birth charts for 5. And if you want tarot reading and a birth chart, it's 15. But these readings with the deceased are more, because they are more draining. But I just told you how to do it yourself, so if you want to try it, go ahead. If you if you're into necromancy, this is a good method. So, and it's very clear. It's very precise and clear, and gives you answers. There's no guesswork. So, I hope that you enjoyed this little lesson, and hopefully you can try it and see how it works and test it out on yourself. And also, like, if you're communicating with your ancestors or someone that you're close to that have passed, it's not going to be as draining as it would be if you're reading for someone else who whose loved ones and ancestors that you're not affiliated with or that you don't work with. It's a lot different because your ancestors aren't going to try to drain you. They're going, you know, you're going to have offerings for them. You have altars for them. You know, they don't want to bring you any harm. But the dead likes to feed off of energy. So you have to, you know, make sure that you're okay energy-wise because it's very draining. Okay, so that is my lesson on how to communicate with the dead with tarot cards. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Blessings.